was unlike any other day, that January 11th, 1981, when the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Dallas Cowboys to become champions of the National Football Conference. They did it on the strong right arm of Ron Jaworski, the NFC Player of the Year. 27 touchdown passes, only 12 interceptions, and one of his favorite receivers, the great Harold Carmichael. The New York Giants rising from the ashes of a 4-12 season, relying on Phil Simms, the young blonde out of Morehead State, looking for his favorite receiver, Ernest Gray.
Today, the Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants.
From sold-out Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, under lead and gray skies that definitely promise a threat of rain. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with John Madden, and John, working with you, has already improved my posture. But talking about improvement, what about the Giants coming off a 4-12 record?
You know, as a result of the 4-12 record, they got the second pick of the draft. And with that choice, they took Lawrence Taylor, who many people felt may have been the best player available in the draft, and he can really be a force.
You've been to the Super Bowl. What about the problem Dick Vermeil has with the Eagles coming off a so-so exhibition season?
Well, that's really not a problem when you're out of the Super Bowl in the next year. That's a nice problem, but they had a bad game last week against the Jets, and after the game, Ron Jaworski said, you know, maybe that's not bad to look bad in the last game. We'll really be ready for the first game. And Dick Vermeil said, you can't learn anything from losing except how to lose. I kind of agree with Dick. Okay, Vin.
All right, John. The Eagles won the toss. They have elected to receive. The deep man is Billy Camfield. As you can see, he busted one for 64 in the exhibitions, and Joe Danilo will start it off for 1981. Camfield from 4 yards deep, and he can't run it out. So the Eagles will put it in play, 1st and 10 on their own 20, and here's the way they stack up. Ron Jaworski with Wilbert Montgomery and Perry Harrington. The wide receivers are Harold Carmichael and Charles Smith. Up front, and that, of course, will be a key, Walters Kenny, Morris, Baker, Sizemore, and the tight end Krefli. Petey Payro is out with a bad back. And, of course, the offensive line has presented some problems because of injury and inexperience during the exhibition season. So we'll take a look now as they put Harrington on a wing and Montgomery is the setback with Carmichael in a slot right. Now they bring Harrington back out of the eye. And it'll be Wilbert Montgomery, and grabbed down by Bill Neal, the rookie out of Pittsburgh, number 77. Nice way to break in, John. Meanwhile, the Giants with Curtis McGriff in place of Gary Jeter, Bill Neal, and George Martin in the 3-man front. The 4, Van Pelt, Kelly, Carson, and the number 1 draft choice, Lawrence Taylor at the right outside linebacker position, Jackson and Flowers, Reese and Haynes. So a loss of 1, and it makes it 2nd and 11 from the 19. They have Krefli shaken loose wide left, Carmichael and Smith in a slot right, and they go to Harrington. And Harrington across to about the 24-yard line, hit by Martin and also Harry Carson.
As you said, Vin, that was a nice way for the Giants to start. They had Bill Neal in there starting his first regular season game. He got penetration, got into the backfield, and you can see the Giants in here. They're trying to keep that defense together. They have a new deal where they hold hands in the huddle.
Hold hands help?
I don't. It's what you do in the ball snap.
3rd and 6 on the 24. And here's a little shotgun now for the first time, and we should see a lot of that. Flags on the play as Jaworski down the right side. He has Billy Camfield, who is knocked out by Brad Van Pelt at the 34-yard line. John, the shotgun, does that mean you have a poor offensive line or what?
I don't think so, Ben. I think that's all they want to do is get the quarterback back where he can see a little more on those plays where they know you're going to pass. If they know you're going to pass, why not put the quarterback back there, let him get a jump on it where he can see better? But that didn't help them on that play. They did something wrong, didn't they?
Illegal motion, number 75, offense, 3rd down.
So it is 3rd and 11 on the Eagle 19-yard line. Though we've seen the first wrinkle as far as a shotgun pass by Jaworski go awry. Pull up a chair. We're just starting this thing out. That's the way Jaworski has done a couple of years against the Giants. 10 touchdowns, 53% completion. Both backs stay in for the moment now, and here goes Montgomery. And Montgomery hit by Van Pelt as he got to the 21-yard line, and the Giant fans are happy.
I'll tell you, they love that Giant defense on that first series, Ben. I think that's the type of thing that they have to do. You know, the Eagles really haven't played well on offense in the preseason. The Giants don't want to give them any life.
Max Runiger will be punting from the 11-yard line. Alvin Garrett is the deep man for the Giants at the 32-yard line. To the 35, to the 45, and just about to midfield. And the Giants are in excellent position, and there's a few words said already in the early going. 12:56 left in the first quarter, with the Giants nothing and the Eagles nothing.
I was talking to Dick Vermeil yesterday. He felt that really early in the season, he says that his offense really isn't ready to play yet, and the defense is going to have to win for him early.
Well, we'll take a look not only at the Eagle defense, John, but we'll also see the Giants, and they sent Ernest Gray wide right. They have Freedy going wide left. Play action fake to Taylor, and it's over the middle, complete to Bo Matthews at the 39-yard line of Philadelphia. There are the Giants with Sims, Taylor, Matthews, Gray, and Freedy. Up front, Weston, along with Turner, Hughes, Simmons, and King, and the tight end is Mulledy. Weston playing for Benson on the left side. So 1st and 10 for Phil Sims and company on the Eagle 39. Ernest Gray in a zoom towards the line of scrimmage, and he'll go to Matthews trying to get outside, and he's inside the 35 to the 34-yard line at least. And they did a pretty good job. Lawrence Taylor hooking on Jerry Robinson, the linebacker. There you see Hairston, Johnson, and Humphrey up front with Bunting, Chesley, LeMaster, and Jerry Robinson, who was just hooked out on the right side on that last play. Edwards, Logan, Shara, and Young. Shara playing for Bernard Wilson. So it is 2nd and 4 for the Giants on the Eagle 33. They started at midfield, remember. They go slot left, but they put Gray in motion. Second man, that's Lawrence Taylor, and he's to about the 30-yard line. Billy Taylor carrying, stacked up by Hairston, who hit him first along with Chesley. John, any pattern, anything you see early?
Well, we just saw Richard Blackmore come in as a free safety for John Shira, and I didn't see if Shira was injured or what happened on that play, but I think the thing is early that the Giants came out and they passed on 1st down, and I really like that because what you have to do on 1st down is miss.
Well, it's 3rd and 1 on the Eagle 30-yard line, and Sims on a sneak, and from this angle he would appear to have made it. Of course, that's
the old left foot. You see what happened? You see that 15 there? The official, he put his right foot down, so it'll probably be a 1st down. That's the one you get all 22 bodies in there, and we'll see what happens. Ray Perkins is saying that's a 1st down. I know it.
Ray Perkins is the 11th Giants head coach. He's only 40 years old, but he's aged rapidly the last couple of years.
That coaching tends to do it to you.
Well, we take a look whether it's a first
Well, they'll stretch it out, and it's good. Yeah, they knew that before they brought that in anyway, Ben. They just like to get in there and get a little, deal on television, stretch out those chains, make sure they work.
It's good theater.
Sure is. A lot of guys in the game.
1st and 10 on the Eagle 29, and the Giants trying to get on a move. They have Freedy and Gray going left. Mulledy, the tight end, on the right side. Matthews and Taylor, and that's Gray in motion. They'll try Billy Taylor, and he's inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. They really need to pry to Texas Tech. Billy Taylor.
And that was a good job of blocking on the right side by Gordon King and Roy Simmons. They really got off the ball well, and they got some movement in that Philadelphia defense. Of course, we know that Dennis Harrison isn't playing left end, that Claude Humphrey, who usually comes in the pass, is playing there for him now.
And you can see an eagle taken to the sidelines. Meanwhile, the Giants, on a busted play, will lose a couple that time. That's John Shira we were wondering about, and evidently his right arm or shoulder.
It looks like it could be a shoulder, and I know when I saw Blackmore came in there, and he's the backup corner, although it looks like a wrist, doesn't it? See, they have the ice there in the wrist. See, he's trying to move it and hold it with the other hand. And of course, Shira was taking Bernard Wilson's place. And there's Blackmore, and he's playing weak safety. He's usually a corner.
So it's 3rd and 4 on the 23, and Sims over the middle to Mulledy. No good. He had Ray Ellis all over him.
And that was the thing. It was a pretty good throw by Sims. We see here he had pass protection. He hits Mulledy, and then Ellis comes in, a rookie, Ray Ellis from Ohio State. He comes in right at the end. See, Mulledy has it there. It just bobbled off his shoulder pad.
So Joe Danilo with Scott Brunner holding at the 31-yard line. So it'll be a 41-yard field goal attempt for Danilo. The spot, the hold, the kick is up. The kick is wide left. And for the Giants, who started with everything in their favor, they immediately wind up on a frustrating note. So with 9 minutes and 14 seconds left in the first quarter, the Giants have a chance, but they come up empty. No score.
In just 3 seconds, about this much cold air leaks in through the unweather-stripped cracks around this window. About this much around the door. This is 3M's flexible V-Seal weather strip. How much difference would it make? With this house, in just 1 day, it could amount to enough air to fill these 3 balloons. Enough to cut the heating bill more than 20%. You just pull it out, fold it, expose this adhesive, and stick it in place. 3M V-Seal blocks drafts around windows and doors better than brass, felt, or foam. It's been lab tested to withstand 2.5 million door openings and closings. You'll find it here, along with other energy-saving products at the 3M Energy Saving Center. You could cut your heating bill more than 20%. 3M V-Seal Weather Strip, a great way to fight rising energy costs.
This is Vin Scully along with John Madden. 9:14 left in the first quarter. No score. The Giants miss a 41-yard field goal. The Eagles put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 23. Wilbert Montgomery is the lone setback, but Harrington will back up to join him now. Now Montgomery on a wing. Well, they'll try Harrington, but he's hit from the left side by Van Pelt, who came in all alone. Nobody had a shot at him.
Well, he was coming on a blitz on that play, and Vin, we just got word that Shira dislocated his right shoulder. So it wasn't a wrist, it was his right shoulder, and it is dislocated.
Meanwhile, you can see Marion Campbell talking to some of his defensive boys, the Swamp Fox.
Right, he's down there, and he's telling them probably some adjustments that they'll have to make now.
2nd and 9 on the Eagle 24. Jaworski hitting Harrington, and he's dragged down by Van Pelt at the 26-yard line. There was a little bit of heat coming in there by the rookie Lawrence Taylor.
Right, and I think that Ron Jaworski was telling the referee, hey, once I throw that ball, he can't touch me. You know, he wants protection from his offensive line, but also he wants it from the referee, and that's a referee's job, is to protect the quarterback.
A team last year that had a lot of turnovers was Baltimore, and Baltimore opening up with New England today. You can see Jaworski appealing.
That's why they call him Jaws.
And there you can see Baltimore leading New England 3-0 in the first quarter. 3rd and 6 on the 27. Jaworski from the shotgun, and Martin's got him.
I tell you, these fans love that defense today, Vin. But we're going to see something here. George Martin is usually the left end, number 75. And they're moving him around today. He's going to be like Ted Hendricks. See him come from the right side? And he wasn't blocked. They're going to put him at left end. They're going to put him at linebacker, at right end. That time he came from the right side. The Eagles had never seen that.
The second punt for Max Runniger now, kicking from inside his 5. Alvin Garrett is standing on the Giant 37-yard line. Nice snap from center, and somewhat of an end-over-end punt, and Garrett will take it at the 45, hurtling across the 45-yard line of the Eagles and brought down at about the 43. Mike Curcio, number 57, in on the hit. So on a wave of early season enthusiasm, the Giants have the ball in good field position. No score.
If you've ever had the feeling you had to wait forever for a Subaru station wagon, here's good news. They're available now with on-demand four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. But because of Subaru mileage, Subaru sticker prices, and Subaru durability, better see your Subaru dealer soon before they start disappearing again. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Beach closed. It's Miller time.
Bar shrimp bar.
Let's go get a beer. Yeah, we earned it.
Everybody get in the car. Miller time so pleasing. Now let's head it to the shipwreck bar. Hurry to the happy hour. Happy hour. Good times are here. Good times are here. Come on to the happy hour. Happy hour. Miller's got the beer. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. When it's a happy hour, Miller's got the beer.
Today on CBS Sports, the action continues as the greatest tennis players in the world compete in the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. Coming up after the game today on CBS Sports.
Friends, this telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended to the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. That's Alvin Hooks, the rookie out of Cal State Northridge, a free agent, signed and hurt his knee for the Eagles on that kick. And here's what happened.
And we see it right here. You see he comes diving over the pile, and look, it was his left knee. His leg was up in the air, and he got the leg hit right in the air. His left knee.
So Alvin Hooks, who is only a 170-pounder, he was sandwiched on that punt return. Of course, for Dick Vermeil, an ominous beginning. First he loses Shara, now he has Hooks hurt, and the game has just begun. 1st and 10 on the Eagle 43. Gray is right. Freedy goes wide left, and they have Matthews and Billy Taylor. Sims releasing to Matthews. A little screen on the left side. Flags on the play, and he's brought down at about the Eagle 33.
One thing I like about the Giants, and the penalty will probably be against the Giants on this play, but the thing that they're doing is they're mixing up their plays with run and pass on 1st down. And look here, here's the 3rd Eagle down, and that would be a tough one because that's Charlie Johnson. He's really the leader of that defense.
I was going to ask you about leader of the defense. Because Bill Berge has been out, a lot of people wondered, does a kid like Al Chesley have to suddenly assume the leadership?
Well, no, he doesn't.
Holding. Offense, number 38. 1st down.
Chesley will assume Berge's position on defense, but the leadership can come from any position, a lineman, linebackers, or secondary. And this man that's down here, Charlie Johnson, what a guy he is. I mean, he's always happy. He's full of life and vigor. And he's really the leader of this defensive Eagle team.
Well, he's had 2 Pro Bowl appearances, 5 years out of Colorado, and they would sorely miss him. No score, 7-13 in the 1st quarter.
To Subaru, an economy car is only economical if it stands up year after year. Spending less at the pump is no bargain if you start spending more at the garage. In a study of Subaru owners, Road and Track magazine said, quote, one of the most trouble-free cars we've surveyed. That makes Subaru the economy car it pays to hold on to year after year after year. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
For whatever you need, take the first step, the Bell System Yellow Pages.
For supplies to build this nursery, for all the furniture you see, I took the very first step.
for this wallpaper so nice and sweet, and wool to knit booties for her feet.
We took the very first step. The first step puts you steps ahead, saves time, money, energy. So let your fingers do the walking.
It's the very first step, the first step.
Charlie Johnson is shaken up, but as you can see, he leaves the field under his own power, and that's good news for Dick Vermeil and the Eagles. And Ray Perkins, meanwhile, had a holding call charge against Billy Taylor, nullify that screen pass to Bo Matthews. So it is 1st and 18 on the Giant 49, and Charlie Johnson wants to get back in there. Taylor behind Matthews, out of the eye. Second man Taylor. And he's buried as he got across the 50. Al Chesley hit him straight up, number 59.
We're going to see Chesley on this play. He's the man that has taken Bill Bergey's place. Look, it's a little counter here, and we see this straighten up. Now watch Chesley come in here, square right there, wrapped arms, gets him going backward. And there's another injury on the play.
This time it's Carl Hairston, John, the defensive captain.
I'll tell you that, we hope that these people are all okay, because, this is a brand new turf out there, and I wonder if they're having a little problem maybe getting their feet caught and, in twisting and turning, maybe some ways that they don't twist and turn.
So in a little more than 8 minutes, we've had 3 Eagles injured. John Shara going out with a bad shoulder. Charlie Johnson shaken up, although Charlie looks like he'll be able to get back in. And now Carl Hairston, the 6-year veteran out of Maryland State. And of course, remember, Dennis Harrison with a sprained knee is going to be out for a while.
He's already out. Bernard Wilson is out. And of course, Alvin Hooks was injured also.
Let's take a look at that play, John.
See if now Hairston is a right end, and he'll come in on the left side of the picture. Now watch here. It looks like he just tackled his own man. See, he's tackling his his left linebacker, John Bunting.
It was a nice tackle.
It was a nice tackle. Good form. Head up, eyes looking straight, toes pointed straight ahead.
No, it is 2nd and 15 on the Eagle 48-yard line. So Sims on his 3rd drive of the day. And it's to Billy Taylor coming back, and Jerry Robinson knocks him out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. So Billy Taylor saying shucks as he comes back to the huddle. Meanwhile, we can check another score. Seattle is leading Cincinnati 7-0. That's a 30-yard interception returned by John Harris of a Kenny Anderson pass. So it'll be 3rd and 12 on the Eagle 45-yard line. The Giants have had it at the Eagle 50. They had it at the Eagle 43. Now they're back on the Eagle 45.
I wonder if we'll see nope, we're going to see a timeout. I was just going to say, I wonder if we'll see a Giant shotgun here, and that's probably what Phil Simms was wondering too, and he called timeout to go talk to his coach.
That's not exactly what you want to do, waste a timeout in the first quarter, is it?
No, you hate to do that.
Most commercials, the cars start up here with some help from a helicopter. But these babies from Subaru don't need help. They can switch from front to 4-wheel drive, and for tougher going, they keep going with a dual-range gearbox. Any cars would look good up here, but all Subaru 4-wheel drive cars even look good getting up here. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Hi, I'm Rusty Jones, and I'll fight rust for as long as you own your car, even where a factory warranty leaves off. From the rocky coast of Maine to the Gulf of Mexico, thousands of dealers offer my Rusty Jones option, the one new car option that appreciates in value. I'll stay with you.
Hello, Rusty Jones. Rusty Jones. Goodbye, Rusty Cars.
Monday on a 1-hour WKRP, the doctor goes disco. Has he lost his mind or sold his soul? It's a special 1-hour WKRP Monday.
U.S. Open Tennis Championships. Later on today, we'll see Bjorn Borg versus David Carter. Right now, Jimmy Connors in the third set against Andre Gomez. It's 1-1. Connors leading 3-1. Third and 12 on the 45 of the Eagles. And it's Billy Taylor inside the 30-yard line. He beat Jerry Robinson.
He sure did, so you hate to see those timeouts, but Phil Simms may have come up with the play that he needed. A third down, they don't go to the shotgun. Here comes the Eagle pass rush. They go to a four-man line. Good pass protection. Taylor gets past Robinson.
So Billy Taylor, a very busy man. 3 times in his career he's rushed for 100 yards. That's what he did last year at the end of Phil Simms' passes. First and 10 on the Eagle 29. Ernest Gray in motion to the right, and it's Taylor. And this time he is upended. Ernie Hughes, the center, tried to get a block off, and he was stopped by Johnson, Charlie Johnson, which reminds me, you've got a converted guard playing center for the Giants. That sounds like a problem area.
That is tough because he's not used to snapping the ball and still having to block. And then in your first regular season game, you get up over that ball and you look across there, and the man is Charlie Johnson, an all-pro nose tackle.
Second and 9 on the Eagle 28-yard line. The Giants started this drive on their own 43. Leon Perry is in there now, number 30 for Bo Matthews. And it goes to Perry, and he is stymied. Both LeMaster and Robinson stacked him up at about the 23-yard line.
Phil Simms is there, and he wants those plays to come in a little quicker, I think. See, he gets them signaled in, and he was given a signal. Come on, hurry up, give me something, give me something. He finally gets the signal, and he says, geez, you better hurry up because there's only 17 seconds on the clock when I got that signal.
And it's now down to 11 as they come to the line of scrimmage. Third and 3 on the 22. 8 seconds left on the clock. In motion now is Johnny Perkins, and with 2 seconds and a high snap, Simms gets it to Perkins, juggling, still on his feet inside the 15-yard line for the first down.
Look at the crowd. They love their Giants, and they love the shotgun. I think that Phil Simms wanted a shotgun play. I think that's what he was signaling for. He got it a little tough snap. See, he had to jump up a little for it. But one thing about the shotgun, you're back and you can see, and then you can step up like Simms did on that play. That's one of the advantages.
So it is first and 10 Giants on the Eagle 13-yard line. Johnny Perkins last year catching 14, good for 3 touchdowns. Perry is the setback, and Perry trying to follow Turner's block, and he is drilled at the 10-yard line and hit hard by Blackmore among others.
One thing that the Giants are doing is they really do have good mixture. They're running right and left, short pass, a little deeper, they're going to the shotgun, and they have a nice offensive mixture.
The Atlanta Falcons, who might very well be the power to be reckoned with, leading New Orleans 7-0. Bartkowski to Wallace Pansis, 10 yards and a touchdown. Second and 6 on the 9-yard line of Philadelphia. Intended for Tom Mulledy, and Randy Logan was right there defending.
And they didn't block John Bunting on that play. We see Bunting there, big number 55. He really came on a blitz. 95, did I say 55?
Hey, John, do you like Atlanta?
I think that Atlanta has the best talent in the NFC, with all due respect to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think some of their great talent are younger, but yes, I do.
Well, it'll be third and 6 on the Eagle 9-yard line. No score, 3:22 left in the first quarter. Billy Taylor and Leon Perry. Gray and Freedy on the left side. And Simms is going to run with it to the 5. And Ray Ellis, along with Carl Hairston, hitting him at the 5.
I'll tell you, Perkins is upset. Look, he's saying go for it. Or he's not. I guess he's saying go in the kicking team. He was mad at that, but really the pass protection was pretty good on that, and Simms just didn't have anyone open. But Ray Perkins said this is the second time we've been down there, and we still have the same number of points, none.
Well, this time the line of scrimmage is the 5-yard line. It's 4th and 2. Bruner That's Scott Bruner, the second-string quarterback, will be holding for Danilo. He'll spot the ball at about the 12-yard line, so it's a 22-yard field goal attempt. And a delay of game against the Giants.
I'll tell you, they didn't like to do that. You know, that doesn't give your kicker a lot of confidence when you say, go, well, heck, go on in there and kick the doggone thing. And they took a little too much time doing it.
Delay of the game, offense, number 18.
What about the extra 5 yards, John? Is that actually better, perhaps, for Danilo?
It could be better because he's on a hash mark, which means he has to kick it from the side, and the 5 yards may be advantageous here.
And there it is, up in the air, and good. So the Giants, who've been frustrated a couple of times, finally get the plaudits of the crowd as Joe Danilo bangs it through. And with 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first quarter, the Giants leading Philadelphia 3-0.
That really wasn't the type of applause they wanted. I think these fans were ready for the touchdown type applause that they haven't gotten yet. But if the Giants just stay solid, they're okay today, Vin.
So Phil Simms, who knows what it's like, they had the Eagles pinned to the mat early last year in a game here when an opening fumble gave the Giants particularly good field position, but they were still steamrolling. Say, you know, there'll be more great NFL action next week on CBS Sports. Atlanta, Green Bay, Chicago, San Francisco, Detroit, San Diego, Los Angeles at New Orleans. John, you and I and the folks watching today will see the Giants in Washington, St. Louis, Dallas, and Tampa Bay at Kansas City. Billy Camfield, who didn't have a chance to run the opening kickoff back, if you remember, he took it 4 yards deep and muffed it. And now Joe Danilo will kick off. Camfield will come up for a short kick now and take it on the 3. And he is tripped up hard at the 17-yard line. Alvin Garrett along with Hunt coming down to make the cut. That's Byron Hunt.
Of course, that's good coverage. You know, you always feel that anytime you can get the other team inside the 20-yard line, that you had a good coverage.
So Dick Vermeil wants his ball club to get moving a little bit.
I know it. And, you know, he said that, he was saying last night, every time that they come in and play the New York Giants, he said they always have trouble with him. He said he's anticipating it today, and he's getting it.
Yet they have an 11 straight winning streak against the Giants, haven't lost to them since 1975. First and 10 on the 19. And it's Montgomery. He got away from Flowers, but he ran out of real estate, and he goes out of bounds at the Eagle 24.
That's the old thing. You know what they were trying to do there, Ben? They were trying to take advantage of Lawrence Taylor, the rookie, on the right side, and you give him flow to one side and come back with the reverse. And I didn't see Lawrence Taylor there. They may have taken advantage of him.
And they're probably also looking at Larry Flowers, who has 1 year, but he was injured almost all of last year. So he's just about an untested rookie in the backfield. 2nd and 5 on the Eagle 24. They send Charlie Smith and Harold Carmichael in a slot right. Keith Krefley is the tight end. And it's Wilbert Montgomery and Bill Neal in the middle of the line. Double sevens was there to slow him down.
Old double sevens. I know that, you know, he has to be happy with the start of his play. I was talking to his coach, Bill Parcells, yesterday, and he was telling me the only thing that he worries about, if he gets frustrated, he gets too aggressive. You know, the old deal where you put your head down and you're going like a bull.
The Giants in Detroit scoreless in the second quarter. Pittsburgh leading Kansas City 6-0. So it is 3rd and 1 on the Eagle 28. Here comes Harrington, and Harrington is out across the 35-yard line with Kelly and Reese and Carson all over him.
I think this is what the Eagles would like to do. They really haven't gotten started yet offensively. In fact, they feel that they haven't even gotten started offensively yet this season. But just to get a few first downs here and to get going, get a feel and a flow of the game, and then get into what they really want to do.
Well, it'll be 1st and 10 Eagles on their own 36-yard line. Smith and Carmichael right, and they'll try Montgomery. And Montgomery finally dragged down across the 45-yard line with some great special effort. And Terry Jackson knocked him down, and they rode Lawrence Taylor out of there.
They did, and Wilbert Montgomery cut inside of Taylor. You see him out there, 56. But watch Wilbert Montgomery. He is a great running back. You know, he's never down. You know, he doesn't stop. He always keeps those feet going. He's always going straight up the field. And he had a little shoe trouble there, but that'll slow him up for a player.
He gave Beasley Reese a little headache on that head-on shot. 1st and 10 on the Eagle 47-yard line. Little release to Harrington. And he gets across midfield. The last man to touch him was Curtis McGriff, number 76.
You know, I think we can see in the Philadelphia Eagle offensive game plan that they want to work their left side, which, you know, is towards the side of Lawrence Taylor, the rookie, and, of course, Curtis McGriff, who's starting there at right end.
So the quarter has ended, and thanks to a 27-yard field goal by Joe Danello, Giants lead 3-0.
This is Polaroid's new Sun camera, a new system with the fastest color print film made, 600 speed. But it needs one more thing to turn bad light into good pictures.
What's that?
A piece of the sun.
Daddy long legs.
There, a piece of the sun does it.
Turn this bad light into a good picture.
Sure, you use this on every shot. You see, you've never been so sure of an instant picture.
Lovely. Now you just reach up.
Well, don't waste it.
You've never been so sure.
If you've ever had the feeling you had to wait forever for a Subaru station wagon, here's good news. They're available now with on-demand four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. But because of Subaru mileage, Subaru sticker prices, and Subaru durability, better see your Subaru dealer soon, before they start disappearing again. Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
Come on, guys, I'm all fished out. Besides, it's just about Miller time.
It's about that time. It's about that time. I'm going back. The sun's about to set. It's time for the finest beer they can get. When it's time to relax, one dish that's clear. You got the time. Miller's got the beer.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Bjorn Borg and David Carter coming up after our football game. Meanwhile, Jimmy Connors is leading Andre Gomez 2-1. 2nd and 7. The ball just in Giant territory, and the Eagles trying to make their first drive of the day. It started on the Eagle 19. Little release to Montgomery on a swing, and he's inside the 40-yard line. Brian Kelly finally takes him down at about the 37.
There's Bill Berge in the sweatsuit on the sideline. Of course, we know that he's out. He was just talking to John Shira, who was also on the bench a second ago. You know, one thing that I think we ought to realize that John Shira, in addition to be the starting weak safety, is also the holder on extra points and field goal. There's John Shira there. So he had a dislocated shoulder that they put back into place.
Well, it's 1st and 10 on the Giant 37. Wilbert Montgomery spins and is dropped at the 31-yard line. George Martin and Harry Carson made him spin around like that as they hit him from either side.
It was interesting. I said that they were working the left side, and just as we said that, they started to work the right side.
Variety is the spice of life.
That's really what it has to be. That is true. That any time that you get predictable, then the defense gangs up on that side.
Hey, John, what about motion? The Eagles don't use too much motion.
No, Dick Vermeil says that he doesn't believe in it because he wants his quarterback to know where the defense is going to be.
2nd and 4 on the Giant 31. So Jaworski knows where the Giant defense is right now. And he goes to Montgomery, slowed up by Neal. So young Bill Neal, the rookie out of Pittsburgh, number 77, hooked him with an arm. That slowed him down and busted the play.
You know, I think that in the preseason, the Giants played a very standard defense. And today they're doing a lot more stunning and bringing their linebackers And Guy Morris had probably never seen Neal go to the right or the left, which he's doing right now.
Bill Neal along with George Martin and Curtis McGriff. Gary Jeter, of course, sidelined. So that's put a lot of pressure up front. And the rookie doing very well. 3rd and 4 on the Giant 31. Out of the shotgun is going to be driven out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
We're going to see their shotgun again. And one thing that they don't like is in their shotgun, they've been throwing to the inside guys all the time. It's always to Camfield and Montgomery. When they go to the shotgun, they haven't yet gotten the ball to their outside receivers. But that's pretty good if you get the first down anyway, whoever you throw it to.
Well, they started on their own 19-yard line, and the Eagles have moved it to the Giants' 16-yard line, so they're on a roll. Duck in another score for you as Seattle added 7 more to lead 14-0. Jim Zorn to Steve Largent. That was Van Pelt hitting Montgomery and stopping him at the line of scrimmage.
I think that was one of the things that Van Pelt was coming. He was coming on a blitz and getting penetration, and he got in the backfield before Montgomery had a chance to get started.
Because Van Pelt, who went to school at Michigan State, was unhappy for a while until he got the contract that he wanted, and of course he's a great player to have. Dallas on the board, leading Washington 7-0 in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 on the 16. Keith Krefley, the tight end in heavy traffic, makes a gutsy reception with Carson and the rookie Lawrence Taylor all over him.
You know, I've always said that the closer you get to the goal line, the more important a big tight end is, because you can see him down here. We see Jaworski go back. See, he can see Keith Krefley. He's running it in here. See him right there. Boom, he gets him the ball right between the defenders. Krefley has the first down, although they're going to mark it. Oh, they don't have the first down. Oh, they do have the first down. I knew they had it.
Sooner or later.
All the time. Never a doubt.
That must drive you a little crazy on the sideline sometimes when after a play they'll say you missed by an inch.
That's right. That does, you hate to leave it short.
Keith Krefley making that big reception. So it is 1st and goal on the Giants' 6-yard line. 3-0 New York, but the Eagles now apparently on a big move, starting on their own 19-yard line. And look at Jaworski, 5 for 5.
It's about as good as you can get.
Harrington and Montgomery, the running backs, and he'll go to Montgomery. The ball is punched loose well after the whistle, however. Well after the whistle.
That looked like a jump ball or something, didn't it? I tell you, that's one thing Wilbert Montgomery does. Now watch this. As we come here, he's going to go off to the right side cut. Now watch him keep his feet going. He gets hit there, but the feet are always going boom, 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 boom. Now someone comes in, grabs that ball. Van Pelt it was. Up it goes, the old jump ball trick. But they said that the whistle had blown before the jump ball.
Harry Carson just missed him in the line of scrimmage. In fact, a yard back.
A lot of them missed Wilbert Montgomery.
Yeah, that how. 2nd and goal on the 1. So Perry Harrington, the 2-year man out of Jackson State, punches it over for the touchdown. He had a 19-yard touchdown return last year against the Giants.
Of course, the Giants were down low. The Eagles got a little movement, and Harrington went up and over. Now, this is one thing that the Eagles were worried about, not having Leroy Harris. They didn't feel that Harrington was really a short yardage or goal line type fullback.
Now let's see about Tony Franklin. He, of course, is a big part of the Philadelphia story. Jaworski, the holder, and the kick is perfect. And, of course, as Franklin kicks the way they expect him to kick, they really have an extra weapon this year.
He sure is.
So with 11 minutes left in the second quarter, Philadelphia 7 and the Giants 3.
And built to stay that way.
In Hawaii, we call the gift of giving Makana Aloha. And for over 30 years now, the Friendly Skies have been giving the gift of Hawaii. We gave the Burmans a waterfall on Kauai. We gave the Dolans a sunset on Maui. Dave Smith got his golf course. And we gave the Millers their second honeymoon on 4 different islands. We've got a gift waiting for you, too.
In our little corner of the world, by the friendly skies.
Alvin Garrett is the deep man for the Giants. You can see his return numbers from last year. On his right is Pittman, and on his left is Dennis. And you can see the birdcage. Danny Pittman has a hairline fracture of the jaw, but he is playing and heavily protected. Meanwhile, barefoot Tony Franklin kicking off for Philadelphia. And it's going to be Garrett from a yard in to the 15, 20. Out of bounds around the 24-yard line. Maybe they'll spot it at the 25, and the Giants will put it in play. The scoring drive, it took 13 plays, started on the Eagle 19, and they covered the 81 yards in almost 6.5 minutes, with Harrington scoring from 1 yard out. A big play was a pass to Billy Camfield and another pass to Keith Krefli.
There was a penalty on that, Vin. I think they're probably going to kick it again.
They give us a chance to mention Tony Franklin. Franklin last year kicked 16 of 31 field goals, and Vermeil was outspoken in his criticism. In the exhibition season, Tony was 7 for 7. 6 of his field goals were 42 yards or better, and the word is he has shaped up his act, John.
You're sure Dick is upset about something, isn't he? Well, he may be upset to see if Krefli's okay, or if he's injured, but he's telling him that was a pretty good drive. You know, you should have went outside instead of inside or up or something. But Tony Franklin, I think he's one of the most enjoyable players in this league. He's always fun to talk to. He's a fun guy, and even when he wasn't doing well last year, he was still a great person.
Tony, a third-round draft choice out of Texas A&M. He kicked 2 field goals against Baylor of 64 and 65 yards. That got national attention for him. So from the 30-yard line, he'll kick it short this time to Garrett at the 10, 25, 30. You can take a good look at some coverage by Ray Phillips.
He's one of the best cover men that the Eagles have. You know, this is so important, these special teams, and people like Phillips. It's not always the fastest guy down. Watch Phillips. Boom, he takes a shot. He keeps going. He's still looking for that ball carrier. Get over here, find him right there, and get in on the tackle.
So the Giants 1st and 10 on their own 33, and here's Doug Coder. And Coder is out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 7 for the Giant veteran, who is healthy and figures to see a lot of work.
That's one thing. You know, if the Giants can get a little running going, if they can keep their running backs, Billy Taylor and Doug Coder, keep them healthy, get some running, where all the pressure doesn't go on their passing game and Phil Simms, they'll have a chance offensively.
Well, it's 2nd and 2 on the Giant 41-yard line. In motion is Coder. No good. Intended for Gary Shirk, and Al Chesley was right there to break it up.
That's one of the things that the Eagles feel about Chesley is that, you know, in his replacing Berge, they figure that they lose a lot in not having Berge on the field, but Chesley is really a better pass defender.
The question, of course, with Berge is if he'll ever come back.
That's right. He thinks that he can and will, and knowing him, he's one of the most determined people in the world.
So it is 3rd and 2 on the 41-yard line. It's Matthews, and Matthews up across the 45 to the 46-yard line for the 1st down. Let's check a few scores now around the league on this opening day. Miami leading St. Louis 3-0 in the 2nd quarter. Seattle pouncing on Cincinnati, striped helmets or not, 21-0.
Right, and when Seattle gets going, they can really go.
And knocking the stripes off the zebras. 1st and 10 on the Giant 46-yard line. Giants going slot left, and Perkins in motion now out of the slot. They'll try Alvin Garrett. Frank LeMaster had him and wouldn't let go, just about at the 45, and he spun for maybe a yard. Baltimore leading New England 10-7 in the 2nd quarter. we try and keep you apprised of all the football action around the country on this opening day.
They all start 0-0, don't they?
Boy, and how, forget the exhibition.
Can't win them all unless you win your first one.
2nd and 8 on the 48-yard line. And Sims releasing to Matthews, and he took his eye off the ball. He was looking at Charlie Johnson, who was going to come over and bury him, and he dropped it.
Well, that was a double type of screen. They had a motion. They had Bo Matthews. They had 2 people out here screened. Now watch Hairston here on this. Watch him. He goes a little thing. He tries to get spin. Another one picks him up. He has the center in there waiting for him. The off guard. He says, "The heck with it. I'll go downfield and see what I can do."
So it's 3rd and 8 on the Giant 48-yard line. They started on their 33. Over the middle. And a good catch by Billy Taylor. He had Chesley all over him.
That's one of the things, Vin, that get me every time that it's done. I just, you know, when you have 3rd down and 8 yards, if you're going to throw the ball, you have to get all your receivers up beyond the 1st down marker. And it never makes any sense to me to complete a pass on 3rd down and have to punt.
And that's exactly what the Giants have to do with the NFL's leading punter, Dave Jennings, at the wheel. Wally Henry standing at the 9. Flag on the play, and Henry is down at the 22-yard line. Gary Shirk, the tight end, is there, and he's not about to shirk some fisticuffs with Wally Henry.
I'll tell you, the intensity. We were talking to the man that just punted that, Dave Jennings, yesterday, and he was telling Lawrence Taylor, he said, the intensity will go up 75% when the regular season opens tomorrow.
Shirk, by the way, is 6'1" and 220. Wally Henry is 5'8" and 180. Looks like something fell out of his pocket.
Out of Shirk's pocket. But Wally Henry was smart enough to do that on his sideline. He wasn't smart enough. The Eagles weren't to avoid a 15-yard penalty.
Holding by the receivers. Post-possession, 10 yards. 1st down.
Sorry, Chuck. That was a 10-yard penalty.
10-yard, putting it back on the Eagle 12-yard line, with the Eagles leading 7-3, 8:28 to the half.
Bid $100,000 for this Mercedes-Benz today, and you'll bid too low. Offer the owner of this Mercedes $300,000, and he'll just smile. $50,000 for this Mercedes? Not enough. Classic engineering breeds classic resale performance. When it comes to retaining value, the cars of Mercedes-Benz have made history, and history does have a way of repeating itself.
Before a day of breaking surveys, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
Before I whistle passing completies, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
The Edie's for Wheaties, that undeniable, irresistible urge for the crispy, crunchy, whole wheat taste of the breakfast of champions.
Before I slam my gorilla donkeys, I get Edie's for my Wheaties.
Part of your good breakfast.
Today on CBS Sports, the action continues as the greatest tennis players in the world compete in the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. Coming up after the game today on CBS Sports.
Eagles 1st and 10 on their own 12-yard line, leading 7-3. Smith is right and Carmichael left. And it'll be Harrington. And Harrington runs into a gang just shy of the 15-yard line.
What they like to do there is they have 2 tight ends in there, and now they're sending Wilbert Montgomery back in, and we see the plays. See, Dick Vermeil has the plays he wants on that card, and then and this is what the card looks like. See, 1st down, then he has runs on the left, passes on the right, then he has in that situation the 6 plays that he wants to use.
Well, we'll see one of them right now. It's 2nd and 7 from the 15-yard line. Over the middle, almost intercepted by Brad Van Pelt. He had it and couldn't hold it.
And Brad Van Pelt could see touchdown, and that's what he's thinking now. He's thinking, geez, I not only missed an interception, maybe I could have had a touchdown. See the line, the Giants are bringing some line. Look at Van Pelt. He's right there. The ball hit him in the right shoulder.
It was intended for John Spagnola.
Dick's thinking, I want to look at this chart again and see maybe if I have a better one in there.
Dallas, Washington even at 7 in the second quarter. Theismann disconnected. Kansas City leading Pittsburgh 10-6 in the second. Meanwhile, it's 3rd and 7 on the 15-yard line, and the Giant fans have come alive. Out of the shotgun is Jaworski. Montgomery, and dragged out of bounds by Lawrence Taylor, but not before he picked up the clutch first down. A pretty good fake by Jaworski before giving the ball to Montgomery.
It was, and he had it. See, now here's a shotgun. He starts 5 yards. He drops back another 7, ends up 12. So he has plenty of room to see. Montgomery was on a little loop to the outside. He knew where he had to go to get the first down.
Does Jaworski look at his receiver, or is he good at looking off defenders?
Well, sometimes I felt that he looks at his receivers too much. On that one, he didn't, though, Vin. He looked off.
1st and 10 on the 25-yard line for Philadelphia. And it's to Montgomery, who is drilled by Brian Kelly at the 30-yard line.
You know, the one thing that we haven't seen yet is a completion to an outside receiver. I wonder if that's the way the game is going now, where it's all going to be passing a lot more, but it's always to running backs and tight ends.
In other words, out of the shotgun, is there a better reason for going to the wings or to the short men?
Well, I think they're closer to him, and maybe, you know, the shotgun, the quarterback can see better, and maybe he can see the inside people better.
2nd and 5 on the Eagle 30-yard line. They'll try Harrington, and he's swallowed up by George Martin, who hit him right at the line of scrimmage, and he barreled forward for a yard or two.
I'll tell you, this, you know, field position is always so important, and this really changes things because the Giants had him backed up. And had they forced a punt, they probably would have gotten the ball at midfield.
Yeah, because the Eagles, because of the post-possession holding penalty, had it 1st and 10 on their own 12-yard line, and they've moved it out to the 34, where it is 3rd and 1. Montgomery and Harrington with Carmichael on a wing. And it's Montgomery straight ahead. I should say Harrington with Montgomery on the wing. They use 2 tight ends on that play all the time. What exactly will that do, having 2 tight ends when you go up the middle?
Well, what you like to do is that spreads the weak side linebacker out, where he can't stack and get in on an inside running play. He has to widen out and get on the line of scrimmage, and he can't help inside. Does that make any sense?
I think so. I'm writing it down anyway.
Thank you.
1st and 10 on the 37-yard line for Philadelphia. They're leading 7-3. Spagnola upended at the 42-yard line. He was hit by Lawrence Taylor and Larry Flowers, and a ball. Apparently the fans thinking about that loose ball.
No, watch the pursuit on this. Watch Lawrence Taylor here, their 1st-round pick, number 56. He starts back and pass. He sees it's a screen. Now watch him come across the field. This is the one thing that he can do, rookie or no. He can really run, dodge, makes a hit. Now, the rule here, the reason that's not a fumble is that the ground cannot cause a fumble. The ball came out not as a result of the hit, but as the result of hitting the ground.
So it is 2nd and 4 on the Eagle 43. They've moved 30 yards so far, and they go slot right. Carmichael in the slot. Wilbert Montgomery. And Brian Kelly has him down low as he crosses the 45, falls forward to about the 46-yard line. Montgomery, as usual, is a horse. He has carried 10 times for a very tough 36 yards. For the Giant defense, they're being picked apart.
Yeah, but had Van Pelt held on to that one, that may have been one incompletion that went the other way, or one completion. I guess it's still a completion.
So as you can see, the ball is just shy of the 47-yard line. 3rd and 1. Jaworski threw 8 interceptions during the exhibition. Is there a reason for that, John?
Well, they say that he had a plan that wasn't based on the defense they were playing, just something that they wanted to do in preseason.
3rd and 1 on the Eagle 47. On a sneak, it's Jaworski.
You see him put his head down there and go through. He looked like Bronco Nagurski or someone. Watch him. Watch him. He puts his head down. He's expecting to get hit early, and he doesn't. Look, he's ready to get hit. There's no one there to hit him. He just went down and picked up the first down.
He followed the Guy Morris freeway.
Yeah, he sure did. Those quarterbacks, they don't do much of that, you know.
Well, 1st and 10 on the Eagle 49-yard line with the Eagles leading 7-3. 3:41 left in the first half. Looking for Montgomery. He got away from Carson, but Haynes and Martin got to him.
They almost didn't get that play started. Perry Harrington tried to line up in the same spot as Montgomery. Montgomery had to say, no, get away from here. Get over on the other side, because they're going to throw it to me on this side.
Well, that moves the ball into Giant territory to the Giant 47-yard line, where it is 2nd and 6. Carmichael right, Smith wide left. This is to Smith. No good. Terry Jackson right there with him. I was wondering when they were going to throw to a wide receiver.
That's the first pass I think that they've thrown to a wide receiver. Now watch Jackson. See, he can bump within that first 5. He's okay. Now the defensive back should do that. Look into the receiver, not back away. And then when his hands go up to catch it, you stick your hands in there. That was a great picture of the way that a corner should cover a wide receiver.
That was Terry Jackson, the 4-year man out of San Diego State, who missed half the season last year with a dislocated shoulder. His brother played for Oakland and the Rams, Monty Jackson.
The Eagles are sure having trouble with injuries.
Steve Kenny. Steve Kenny is shaken up, and of course he means a great deal since Petey Payroll has been hurt. Kenny, normally a tackle backup, has to play guard today. So with 2:47 left in the half, the Eagles leading the Giants 7-3.
Just imagine if everyone drove a car like the Honda Civic DX, there'd be more room on the freeways. There'd be more space to park. And we'd probably all use less gas. The Honda Civic DX. It could make life a lot simpler.
Honda, we make it simple.
If you use unleaded super, you could be burning more octane and spending more money than you have to.
We're doing something about it.
At Sunoco, we give our customers a choice. If they need high octane, they can use our Unleaded Plus. It's got all the octane most cars need, costs less than our super, and only Sunoco has it.
Switching to Sunoco's Plus was a big plus for my pocket.
We're doing something about it.
There's number 62, Petey Payroll. He's been out with a sore back, but he's going to be on the left side at left guard, replacing the injured Steve Kenny, who originally replaced him. 3rd and 6 on the Giant 47. And again, it's Montgomery. And they box him in. Van Pelt brings him down along with Frank Marion, shy of the 50-yard line. Jaworski just looks right at Montgomery.
I know. Well, you know, first he was looking downfield at Carmichael, see, and he couldn't find Carmichael, so boom, he had to come off to Montgomery, and of course it's way short of the first down. Van Pelt was right there with him.
So it is 4th and 11 on the Eagle 48. Max Roniger will be kicking to Alvin Garrett. Garrett on the 10-yard line. We have 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and the clock is counting. There's little Alvin trying to get his hands on the ball. And they apparently going to let it run down to the 2-minute warning. There it is. So with 2 minutes left in this first half at Giant Stadium in New Jersey, the Eagles 7 and the Giants 3.
John, did you copy? You're right on target, Rainmaker. That was a good drop. A couple more just like that one ought to do it.
Raj, we're just going around for a little swim and pick us up a refill. Tell that fire not to go anywhere till we get back here.
Okay, you give us a good one.
Here comes a big splash.
Okay, good. Bullseye, you got it.
You trying to tell us it's Miller time?
Roger, over and out.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Saturdays this fall, Walt Disney is coming to CBS, bringing you excitement, thrills, and the brightest of stars. Join the fun on Walt Disney.
This has been Scully along with John Madden at Giant Stadium. The Eagles leading the Giants 7-3. The Eagles on a 4th and 11 on their own 48 will have Max Runniger punting. Alvin Garrett standing on the Giant 10-yard line. Ron Jaworski going over somewhat of a frustrating day thus far with his coach Dick Vermeil. 12 seconds left on the 30-second clock, and Runniger using all the time. And he arrows one down to Garrett, who will let it hit. And it is down by Ray Ellis inside the 5-yard line with 1 minute and 50 seconds left in the half. So Ray Ellis hustling down there to down that punt for Philadelphia and put the Giants in bad field position.
That was a perfect punt by Runniger because he didn't want it to turn over. Now watch it here. As the ball hits, it doesn't turn. See, it hits the way it's coming back. So instead of going into the end zone, it bounces back.
7-3 Philadelphia.
Today, when many makers are taking quality out of their cigars, Dutch Masters is putting more in. Many others have switched to manufactured wrapper that isn't all tobacco. But Dutch Masters still grows premium leaf to age into our famous light-colored natural Claro wrapper. And now Dutch Masters is enriching its blend with Havana seed tobaccos. We're putting more quality in so you get more pleasure out. Dutch Masters Panatellas, naturally worth more.
This car is out for a Sunday drive here at testing grounds in Ohio. It's the 1981 Honda Accord. With front-wheel drive, 4-wheel independent suspension, a 5-speed transmission, and rack and pinion steering. We've tested the Accord under grueling road conditions you wouldn't encounter in a month of Sundays, because life isn't always a simple Sunday drive.
Honda, we make it simple.
After that excellent punt by Max Runniger, it is 1st and 10 on the Giant 4. You see Miami leading St. Louis 10-0 in the second quarter. And San Francisco 3, Detroit 0 in the second quarter.
Billy Sims probably hasn't gotten warmed up yet.
Dallas warming up, however. They're leading Washington 14-7 in the second quarter. The latest, a 42-yard pass, Danny White to Drew Pearson, and some things never change.
You know, Dallas has won 16 straight openers.
Phil Simms.
He was over there telling the defense. He was talking to the defense and saying no dunking the center. Remember that in the street? The quarterback would say no dunking the center.
1st and 10 on the Giant 4-yard line. Charlie Johnson right over Ernie Hughes, the Giant center. And it'll be Perry, and he got out maybe to the 6-yard line. Might have picked up 2.
I wonder if he was telling Johnson that he was going to run right at him, which they did. Watch him now. Watch Johnson in the middle. He's there. See, he stands up his man. He stands up Hughes right there. There's no place to run. In fact, he ran into his own man. That's what a nose man should do. Pick up the center, put him in the backfield, and let the runner run into him.
And with time running down on the Giants, 2nd and 8 on their 6-yard line. It'll be Perry looking for a hole. And he got out to about the 10. That's a tough purchase of 4 yards.
And the Eagles will probably take a timeout now, which they are. See, they have 2 timeouts. They'll take one now and one after third down, see if they can get the punt and take one more shot at it.
So we have 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the half, with the Eagles leading 7-3.
Hi, I'm Randy Logan of the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is a friend of mine, Craig Nelson.
Hey, Randy, I'd like to talk to you, but I got to go run my race.
Okay, good luck, Craig. Do a good job, all right?
Okay.
I know you will.
Thanks a lot.
As a United Way volunteer, I've worked to help Craig find that confidence. He's a boy who wanted a chance, but reaching out and helping someone can make all the difference to them and you.
I've got a story to tell you about a very special pair of sneakers. I call them my lucky sneakers. I met Randy Logan. He gave me the chance to work in doing odd jobs. He also gave me these special sneakers. And he gave me the courage and the will to make it in life.
It didn't take much. A little of my time, a pair of sneakers, and a little love.
Thanks to guys like Randy Logan, I can tell you the United Way really does work for all of us.
That's why we want to say,
thanks to you,
it works.
For all of us.
The United Way.
Gary Jeter, the 5-year veteran from USC and the great defensive end for the Giants, went down with torn cartilage in his right knee in the second quarter against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He underwent arthroscopic surgery, and after a piece of cartilage removed, we have him right here in the booth. And Gary, you look all right.
Well, I've been walking around since Tuesday, and I feel pretty good.
That's remarkable.
I'm telling you, it is amazing. Modern technology never ceases to amaze me.
Well, it's
when I had mine, it was about that long, my scar.
Yeah, the scar as long as one of these yard markers. Huh?
Right, yeah.
Sims throwing to Mulledy, and Mulledy is going to be knocked down by Randy Logan at about the 23-yard line. So the tight end Tom Mulledy making the reception, and we thought you'd enjoy seeing Gary Jeter, and particularly seeing him on his feet and talking so optimistically. Evidently, Mulledy unable to stop the clock by getting out of bounds. You can see it cranking down, 37 seconds.
The Giants will just run out the clock, and they're happy to go in, just down 7-3.
1st and 10 on the Giant 23. Perry and Billy Taylor, and it'll be Billy Taylor. A loose ball, and the Eagles are on top of it, I believe. It looks like Hairston. I think Carl Hairston, number 78, has his arms wrapped around the football.
I'll tell you, watch this play again. This is one thing that you don't want to do when you're running out the clock, and I'm sure the Giants remember this, running out the clock. All they're trying to do is get the half over, to go in there. Now watch the ball pop out just before he goes down. Boom, it's the Eagles' ball, and now they have a shot. All they need is about 10 yards to get in good position for a field goal.
Richard Blackmore had his hands on it, lost it, but Carl Hairston recovered, and there is an ominous note. The Giants committing turnovers left and right, and of course that'll break the heart of any ball club.
And that's number 1 in the NFC last year.
1st and 10 on the Giant 32, Wilbert Montgomery. And he holds on as he goes down at the 30-yard line.
And that'll be the last time out for the Eagles. You know, that just wasn't a run. That was an option run or pass. Montgomery was looking downfield. He had John Spagnola down there. And, of course, Spagnola was covered, so he had to run with the ball. But they were trying to throw the ball then.
So Jaworski huddling with Dick Vermeil on the sidelines. And it looks like the Giants have given the Eagles a little gift here in the waning moments on that fumble by Billy Taylor. Tony Franklin tuning up. To repeat, he was 7 for 7 in the exhibitions, 6 of them 42 yards or better.
And they have to get ready to go, don't they, those kickers? You know, Gary Jeter's here with us, and I would like to ask him in this situation now. I know that in preseason you didn't blitz much. Do you think that the Giants on this 2nd and maybe 3rd down will blitz?
Well, I don't think we will blitz. We'll probably bring an outside linebacker, which I think will be good. You know, we're not running our 4-man line, so what we'll do is we'll probably use George Martin in a what we call a giant formation and bring it from the outside, or use Lawrence Taylor coming from the other side. But I think this would be a good, good situation to do that.
Wouldn't be bad to bring both of them. I mean,
well, we don't want to bring
Martin from one side and Taylor from the other side.
Well, a smart quarterback like like Jaworski, he might dump to the side that the guy's blitzing from, you know, and it could create a problem. And in this particular situation, we don't want to give him too many yards.
What are the chances of the shotgun here before they break the huddle? What are the odds?
I would say they'll use the shotgun.
Yeah.
I would say that they'll use it now and then third down if that becomes a possibility.
It is 2nd and 8. The ball on the Giant 30. The Giants trying to sit on the ball. Had Billy Taylor fumbled. It got away from Richard Blackmore, but it was recovered by Carl Hairston. And now the Eagles trying to pick up the extra points.
I think that the Giants are in a 4-man line. Look at Franklin. He's thinking. Dennis Harrison just went up and talked to him. I wonder what a defensive lineman would tell a kicker. That would have to be an interesting conversation.
You know, Jim Turner was quoted as saying he was talking to his coach, Red Kelly, one time, and he said to him, "Don't talk to me about strategy. You're just a kicker."
You're just a kicker.
Just a kicker.
They hate that.
On the clock.
Evidently, the clock was inaccurate.
Well, you know, on that play that the Giants ran, they didn't call timeout. And remember, we saw the clock, and it didn't go.
Well, now they're going to have to crank it all the way back down. It's going to take a moment.
I think what happened is probably the clock operator thought that Mulledy was out of bounds, and he wasn't, and the clock should have been running. And on the play that the Giants fumbled, the clock wasn't running.
Right now, Ray Perkins will be talking to Al Jury, the back judge.
Well, you know what?
Jaworski can go over and talk to Vermeil.
I'm sure that Ray Perkins is saying, how do you inadvertently get 42 seconds? Why isn't it no seconds? See, he's saying, who was watching that? How do we know it's 42?
Well, the line judge, Dale Oram, and the back judge, Al Jury, over there talking to Ray Perkins. Of course, Perkins fit to be tied anyway. He's still not over that Billy Taylor fumble.
And then, of course, Oram is a new official, number 17 there. This is his first year, and Perkins may be breaking him in a little to the National Football League.
Did you ever break in any officials, John?
I used to love it, because in those days they all had large numbers. They were, you know, like 102 or something like that. And I'd say, I know you don't know what you're talking about because your number's too big.
Well, I think they've gotten it squared away. 42 seconds left. The 30-second clock is down to 21. And here we go, 2nd and 8 on the 30. Parker goes wide right. Carmichael in a slot left. And there's the shotgun. Campfield. Oh, and almost picked off by Van Pelt.
Van Pelt was there, and Martin was there. George Martin, when he was coming from the outside. And again, they did go to the shotgun. Now watch here. Now watch Martin come from the outside. See, Campfield had to run around him, and Jaworski had to throw over him. See, he has to throw over Martin, and now here comes Van Pelt. So it was really over Martin and in front of Van Pelt.
That pass was kind of like a dead bird flying to the ground. So it is 3rd and 8 on the 30-yard line. Broken up by Harry Carson, intended for Harold Carmichael.
Carson was saying, I wish we could use Stickum, because maybe if I had Stickum and I stuck my right hand out there, the ball may stick to it. You know,
he's that's the new rule now.
Look at that, no Stickum. I don't know if Carson used it or not, but the ball may have stuck to that right hand.
So Tony Franklin will come in along with tight end John Spagnola, and Franklin will be doing the kicking. Remember, the normal holder is John Shara, but he's out with a bad shoulder, so Ron Jaworski will hold for him. The spot will be at the 37, so it's a 47-yard field goal attempt for Tony Franklin. He kicks it up and good. So a very frustrated Giant ball club, just about handing the Eagles that additional 3 points. And with 28 seconds left in the half, the Eagles leading 10-3. And for Franklin, a great way to start the year.
It sure is. You know, he had great form. He really got into that one, and watch it. There's no doubt about that. That really split the uprights. You know, watch this. I always wonder if that hurt. You know, and he says that he has a callus where he hits the ball. Now watch, he doesn't have to wait until it's there. See, Jaworski tells him, boom, it's good, right when it went off his foot.
His longest field goal last year was 51, and perhaps his most memorable, he kicked a 59-yard field goal to beat Dallas 2 years ago.
Did you see Dennis Harrison was on the sideline and cheering for him? He was saying, I told you you could do it. I knew you could do it. So here's Harrison. You see his hands clapping there?
They also serve who only stand and wait and cheer.
That's also a signal for touchback.
Alvin Garrett standing on the end zone, and to his right is Louis Jackson. We haven't seen him play all day, along with Dennis. And Garrett is going to take this one on the run at about the 6-yard line. And he's upended by Hubert Oliver at the 20-yard line, and down he goes.
Hubert Oliver is one that we haven't seen yet at fullback, but in this game or in this season, I think that the Eagle fans are going to see a lot of him, the rookie fullback. I know that Vermeil and his staff are very happy with his play.
He's the fellow they call Rockman at Arizona, and he just hit like a rock, even though he's on special teams, bearing down to get a job.
I love those nicknames, Rockman. They have to be able to play.
1st and 10 on the Giant 20-yard line. And down goes Sims with Hairston right there. And suddenly the cheers have turned to boos.
Well, you know, they were trying to do that when they fumbled, Vin. They were trying to run out the clock, and now they're just going to fall down and do it. But the fans don't like it. Look at the fan. They have experience.
He looks like a good booer.
Oh, he's good, yeah. He has a lot of experience. He's been sitting there and doing that for years.
I would say he's in mid-season form on opening day. Well, it's halftime at Giant Stadium. Philadelphia 10 and the Giants 3. And Brett Musburger will be along with scores of all the other ball games on the NFL today. And then Vin Scully and John Madden will be back and take a look at the second half. See you then.
Can't let go, can't get enough.
That an amplified human voice could shatter a glass is remarkable. That a cassette recording of that voice can shatter a glass is amazing. But after 1,000 plays, can the same cassette still shatter a glass? It can if it's totally new Memorex. Now even after 1,000 plays, reproduction so true, we ask, is it live or is it Memorex?
Now there's a place where they have their own authorized mechanics, quality parts and service, and prices you can afford. Now there's K-Care, found only at Kmart.
I was tired of getting bounced around, so I brought my stagecoach to Kmart for some K-Care. Right now they got Monroe-matic shock absorbers on sale. Just $11.88 each for many domestic and foreign vehicles. Hey, would you look at that? They're holding up the stage.
Come in for K-Care, only at Kmart.
Quality means that I can go home and feel good about what I've done.
At Ford Motor Company, quality is more than a priority. Quality is job one.
People are taking pride in their work. It shows. You know, I figure like anything I do, I take a little pride in it. We put out the best effort we can on it, building pride into it. And when you get pride, you get quality.
Better and better, see what we've done. At Ford, quality is job one. Reach for the stars. Reach out for the best. Don't settle for less. Reach for the stars on CBS. Get in on the fun. Stars are shining bright. Reach for CBS and reach for the stars tonight.
Back at the news desk in New York, Jimmy Connors is being forced to play a fifth set against Andre Gomez of Ecuador. The scores 6-7, 6-3, 6-1, and then Gomez again in the fourth set came through and down Connors 6-3. Jimmy has won the first game of the fifth set. Let's get you up to date now with everything that's going on around the National Football League. He's up by 2 touchdowns. Key game, the Pittsburgh Steelers are now back ahead of Kansas City 19-10. They have a new extra point man with the Steelers this year. David Trout is his name. He missed the first 2 extra points, but he came back and he nailed the 3rd one, and the Steelers now have gone ahead. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks are embarrassing the Cincinnati Bengals. 21-3 is the count. Turk Schonert now in at quarterback for the Bengals. Kenny Anderson benched. Jack Thompson is out because of an injury in that game. So, and it's 7-0, the best way to go. We'll be back with the Ken Stabler story as the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Be sure to watch a fascinating edition of 60 Minutes, the popular television news magazine that features Mike Wallace, Morley Safer, Dan Rather, and Harry Reasoner this evening on CBS.
Welcome back to the...
Vin's here now.
This is the idea behind the IBM Electronic 75 typewriter, to help secretaries be more productive automatically. It has automatic retyping and revision, automatic centering and underlining, automatic erasing and column layout. The IBM Electronic 75 typewriter. It saves time, and whatever saves time is more productive, automatically.
Miss Jones, are these your gloves?
At Transamerica, we're out to make your life a little brighter with loans from Transamerica Financial.
Last call for flight 1.
With low-cost international flights from Transamerica Airlines. And even with machines from Transamerica de Laval that help light up whole cities.
First-rate service at a fair price. Transamerica. Dial it has national sports news. It's more than rational just to call National Sports for all the latest reports. We're talking national sports news. We've got it all. 900. What a wonderful call. 900-976-1313.
At 50 cents a call, I keep up on sports.
Dial it. We're talking to you.